shot near East Baltimore High School this month. Tonight, a community comes together looking for change.
Baltimore in the middle of one of the most violent stretches of the year. Fox 45 News presses leaders at the city and state level on what they're doing to improve your safety.
Plus, former President Trump back on the campaign trail. Why another run at the White House isn't the only thing on his mind.
Live from WBFF in Baltimore, this is Fox 45 News at 10.
Good evening. I'm Vincent Hill.
And I'm Maxine Stryker. Youth violence continues to plague Baltimore. A 19-year-old killed and at least 13 others shot just over the past 3 days here in the city.
Yeah, another victim, 16-year-old Isaiah Carter, gunned down just outside Patterson High School earlier this month. Tonight, family and friends gathered where he was killed, sharing their pain and a message to lawmakers. A pledge to keep the name and memory of Isaiah Carter alive.
Isaiah, we want you to know that we love you, baby. We love you. We love you.
To those who knew him, he could strike a chord.
He was annoying, as God knows how much, but I loved him for it.
Described as a quirky kid, taken away by gun violence, something his fellow students have become numb to.
Well, someone got shot. I don't know who it was, but now after-school activities are like canceled.
Unfazed by what seems to be the norm for Baltimore City schools, until hearing the news it was her friend.
And I heard someone say, I heard it was Isaiah. And I didn't want to believe it was my Isaiah.
For Isaiah's mother, Michelle Hines, her son's death, a constant reminder of her biggest fear.
If I predicted in January, do not call me in 2 to 3 weeks to tell me that my child is shot by a disgruntled student. And in 2 to 3 weeks, I get a call, and the people on the other end can't even catch their breath. Her
son's killer arrested in Texas, but her fear amplified because of the 2 other teens she sends to Baltimore City schools.
Even the anxiety of letting them leave, I'm afraid.
Along with that fear, anger at the school system.
But we have no safety for schools. My child was murdered, literally. We can see the school. We can see the school.
That frustration even directed at Governor Wes Moore's plan to combat crime in Baltimore.
He ends up saying, well, I have a plan for a $1.something billion plan to put into Baltimore City Police. You use my son as the talking point.
She says words and promises of money are not enough to bring her son back or protect her other 2 kids from gun violence in Baltimore City.
We need more. Like, we need the state to really pay attention. We need legislators to put this energy into making real changes, like immediately.
And meanwhile, Governor Wes Moore addressing what the state is doing in regards to the violence. Today, he spoke with our Kai Jackson at the Be More Healthy Expo about how the state is working with local police departments.
We have a record investment, $122 million going to local law enforcement, $17.5 million going to Baltimore City alone. Historic investments in the Maryland Coordination and Analysis Center, and we've actually brought Baltimore City in to the Analysis Center for the first time in 8 years.
How's that partnership going?
And it's going really well because we're trying to see now, we're doing everything that on the state level to be able to make sure we're increasing coordination, putting actually more resources on the ground, making sure we're supporting law enforcement officers and supporting law enforcement agencies.
Now, Isaiah Carter's story is sadly too common. So far this year, 7 city school students have been killed, and this includes Deja Garrison. She was the first person killed in Baltimore City this year on New Year's Day. Also in January, 16-year-old Deontay Dorsey was killed outside of the Edmondson Village Shopping Center. 4 other students were hurt in that shooting. And just days after that, 15-year-old LaRon Henderson, he was killed in an alley just blocks away from Forest Park High School.
24-year-old Marcus Russell is now charged with murder in connection to a body found in the car late last night in Baltimore, which police say was his roommate. The incident started Thursday when 22-year-old Jeffrey Brooks Jr. was reported missing along Mary Avenue in Northeast Baltimore. Family says that Brooks didn't show up for work that day. Russell confessed and led police to Brooks' body last night along Harford Road. The body was in the back of his car with gunshot wounds in his chest. Russell is being held at Central Booking.
This year's legislative session is winding down in Annapolis, and several crime bills are still hanging in the balance. Their status leaving some worried about the fate of Baltimore City.
It was
one of the most violent days of the year. In Baltimore City Thursday, 11 people were shot, and local boxer 33-year-old Ernest Hall was killed in a mass shooting along Edmondson Avenue.
It's a cliche when people pass away, everyone says, you know, all good things. He was this, he was that, but Ernie was actually, he was a gem for the city of Baltimore.
Homicide numbers are down compared to this time last year, and city and state leaders are touting success. But we took a closer look at the numbers and found it may be too soon to celebrate. January of this year, 26 people were killed on the streets of Baltimore. That's 10 less than January 2022, when 36 people were killed in what was the deadliest January ever. But the year prior, 27 people were killed, almost the same as this year. And last month, 17 people were killed, one more than February 2022.
The people that we've talked to are also not in agreement with the city leaders. They're still afraid to leave their children. They're still afraid when their kids walk out of the door. They're afraid to go to work because of the violence.
In Annapolis, with just 2 weeks left in the session, several major crime-fighting bills are stuck in committee, including attempts to make stealing a handgun a felony, increasing penalties for repeat violent offenders, and lengthening jail time for illegal gun possession, a bill championed by City State's Attorney Ivan Bates. He lobbied for the bill in Annapolis earlier this week and has been adamant about getting tough on crime.
I've gone to too many funerals. I've gone to too many and watched too many people and young boys and young men and young kids and young ladies who look like me and you that are dying and losing their life.
That is why peace exists.
Eurypsy Morgan, spokesperson for the group Peace, worries his bill and the others that promise to crack down on criminals will stall, and the bloodshed in Baltimore will continue.
I don't see any indication that Ivan Bates, the state's attorney's bill, is actually going to become law. Right? What we would celebrate is if the leaders of Baltimore City and the legislature in Maryland, which is fully Democrat, right, they have a veto-proof majority in the legislature, which means if they wanted to pass Ivan Bates' bill, they could do that absolutely. If they wanted to make stealing a gun a felony, they could absolutely do that. If they wanted to increase the penalty for using a gun in a crime, they could absolutely do that, but they're not doing those things.
It sounded like a freight train driving over my home.
Across the Deep South, recovering from the devastation of deadly storms that swept across the Gulf states. At least 26 people are dead, and power is still out for thousands of people in Alabama, Mississippi, and Tennessee.
In Payne in Mississippi, we'll have more at 10:30 as Governor Tate Reeves declares a state of emergency. And turning now to our weather here at home, plenty of rain over the past 2 days, but we are expecting some clearer skies. Finally, tomorrow it was just...
Finally.
Yeah, it was not a great day.
No, not at all. And we're starting to see the rain push out of the state, but still doesn't look that great right now. We are seeing areas of fog, and you will notice that. But the good news is that tomorrow it looks much better. We've got a great end to the weekend and good for spending time outside. What you're seeing is Baltimore right now. You really can't see much in the picture. Of visibility down to 0. We are still tracking a few showers. Temperatures, though, in the 50s. Here's a look over Towson. You can see a little more in the background, but still fog is a big issue right now. So you will want to drive safely if you have anywhere to go tonight or early tomorrow. Here's a look at the radar. We're not seeing too much in terms of rain. That is starting to push out thanks to the cold front finally moving to the east. That's what led to some of that severe weather in the Deep South. That will pass the state tonight, and behind that, dry air finally returns as we head into Sunday. Coming up, I'll have a look at how the week starts and when to expect our next weather maker and my full forecast. Back to you.
All right, Jasmine, thank you. You can always have the up to the minute forecast right at your fingertips. Just download the Fox 45 weather app. Just search for WBFF in your app store. Well, Maxine, the madness is back, and the Maryland women are looking to get one step closer to the Final Four.
Rocco DeSangro takes us through a Sweet 16 showdown between the Terps and Notre Dame.
And it was a good one. The last 2 years, the Sweet 16 is where Maryland basketball season came to an end. And quite frankly, the Terps are tired of it. They're battle-tested, they have the talent, and they had their eyes on a trip to the Elite Eight. 2-seed Terps, 3-seed Notre Dame, winner moving on. Maryland cut the lead to 1 at the half, thanks to this Brene Alexander 3-ball, second half. Much like the Arizona game, it was Miller time. Diamond with the bucket, the foul, and she was shining so bright today. Maryland dominates the second half for the 76-59 victory.
Take it from a year ago and all the question marks coming in, losing 85% of your offense, to now sitting in an Elite Eight, and just the hard work behind the scenes with your staff and the players, the trust and the belief that started last offseason. So I was reflecting on it today, just a year, what I felt like a year ago, and to where we are today. And so, yeah, this one is going to be one I'll remember for a really long time.
So the Terps are onto the Elite Eight for the first time since 2014-2015 and making their 7th appearance under head coach Brenda Freese. Coming up tonight, the team Maryland will meet on Monday night and how they punch their ticket.
Coming up, frustration over DPW's scaled-back recycling pickup. Fox 45 News speaks to a local resident taking legal action against the city.
And contaminated water from the Ohio train derailment potentially making its way to Maryland. The new concerns from Baltimore Mayor Brandon Scott.
Plus, the Be More Healthy Expo today at the Baltimore Convention Center. The sights and sounds from a busy and fun day downtown.
The Department of Public Works back in the spotlight as the EPA plans to bring contaminated water from the Ohio train derailment to Maryland to be cleaned. Keith Daniels has more on that coming up at 10:30.
Meanwhile, DPW is facing legal action over a rollback in its recycling pickup. A group of residents filing 2 lawsuits saying the plan violates city code. Fox 45's Taylor Stewart shares their concerns.
We spoke to the man who now wants a judge to review the decisions made in the cities, particularly when it comes to DPW and trash pickup and the new funding that's going to Clean Core. He says it's a misuse of tax dollars.
You know, it is the law that we have our recycling picked up once per week. It's in the city code. It's our own, law that the mayor's breaking here.
Desmond Stinney is the lead plaintiff in not 1, but 2 lawsuits against the city. This past week, a petition filed in Baltimore Circuit Court lists his name and over 100 others in a suit against Baltimore City over the $15 million in funding going towards Clean Core, the new initiative that encouraged residents to pick up trash.
And we feel like any resources that are, especially the discretionary resources that is being thrown around for any type of sanitation services will be best used to fund our city agency. Anything other than that would be competing with our city agency.
That agency, DPW, has been fraught with issues over bi-monthly trash pickup. Leaders with the department say hiring and retention are among the problems plaguing the department. But money, according to the mayor, is not the problem.
DPW has the funding that they need.
If DPW has all the funding it needs, then I'm curious as to why we don't have all the services we deserve.
Stinney says those two lawsuits ask a judge to get to the bottom of that question. He says as long as trash pickup fails to occur once a week, they'll be preparing to ask the courts to step in and stop funding the mayor's Clean Core initiative.
Money has been misused, for the program. There's a public health concern with having untrained workers out there dealing with biological waste.
Those suits were filed with an emergency injunction, which means they should be heard within a week or two. We'll keep you updated as the new developments continue from this lawsuit against the city. Taylor Stewart, Fox 45 News.
And in a story we brought you first on Fox this week, Fox 45 News obtained a letter from the Maryland Department of the Environment claiming the city violated the law by failing to notify people about September's E. coli contamination in a timely manner.
They said that we followed their protocols to a T.
MDE did not say that you guys followed it by a T. They told DPW multiple times on Sunday to issue the BWA, and it didn't happen.
No, I think that what you're saying is you're accusing DPW of ignoring what MDE said.
They did, according to the emails.
Fox 45's Mackenzie Frost has been following this story extensively. Her full reporting is available at foxbaltimore.com.
Well, we hope you joined us for the 14th annual Be More Healthy Expo. 25,000 folks packed the convention center.
Wow. Yeah, it was busy. Photojournalist Brendan Dobbs takes us through the scenes from a lively expo downtown, including plenty of familiar faces.
The Be More Healthy Expo is going to start. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let the expo begin.
We are at the Be More Healthy Fair, the best place to be on this Saturday every year.
Today is the day, and I'm happy to be here.
This fair has everything you need to be healthy.
I feel great to be a part of the expo. I have a friend who had a stroke at a really young age, so I'm really excited about the opportunity to, just give some more information about stroke in the young population. University of Maryland has a little bit of everything here, so we'll be talking about strokes, we'll be talking about healthy eating, blood pressure, you name it, we got it.
Now we cook the tomato down to increase that flavor.
This is where the community comes together. We connect here at the Be More Healthy Fair. It is about learning something to keep your life in stride. You can take any kind of information you need to be healthier.
We performed a lot, like in parades and stuff like that, but it being in such a big crowd, it's just so to see the governor this close to me, I'm like, I can't wait to tell my AP government teacher.
Our health is our foundation, and so watching people engaged and involved and smiling, this is a beautiful, beautiful day.
Peace sign, we're throwing peace. Ooh.
He is so funny. I love the name Damon.
We love the Be More Healthy Expo. Thank you for coming to our booth each and every year. You know who you are. I hug you every year. I sign autographs. We are so happy to connect with you, and we'll see you next year.
Well, we had a lot of fun today, and we received several chime-in submissions from the expo. There's nothing wrong with taking a load off. Alzina sent us this picture of a little guy giving his feet a rest during that busy day of walking around the convention center. So cute.
Yeah, I know that feeling too. Here's Michael getting a little weather practice on the green screen with our very own Jonathan Myers. Thanks to Debbie for sharing this one.
And celebrating some smiles here at the Colgate booth, thanks to Lisa Summers for sending this one in. Kids learned about the importance of healthy teeth at today's expo.
Well, go ahead and keep sending us your favorite pics and videos through Chime In. Just go to foxbaltimore.com/chime-in or download the WBFF app.
We were like, oh my God, what happened?
Next on Fox 45 News at 10, the devastating explosion at a chocolate factory. The stunning accounts from neighbors who saw the blast.
Also ahead, another country bans TikTok, the growing pushback on social media. That's coming up.
5 people are still missing following a deadly explosion at a chocolate factory in Reading, Pennsylvania last night. We know 2 people are dead and at least 8 more are injured. Hallie Jacobs from our Sinclair sister station in Harrisburg has a reaction from neighbors who saw the explosion.
Emergency crews have been on the scene for more than 24 hours since the explosion happened Friday evening. At least 1 person has been found alive, and they're continuing to search the rubble, hoping to find more survivors.
So we heard a boom. So we all went outside. You could see the smoke plume coming up. It was very thick, really big. So we were like, oh my God, what happened?
This West Reading resident did not want to appear on camera, describes the scene minutes after the explosion.
We saw the rubble in the street.
The mayor of West Reading has been on scene all day surveying the damage.
It's been really honestly humbling and truly just a little bit of a heartwarming experience in the midst of a tragedy.
Governor Josh Shapiro is also here, promising to work with other state and federal officials to help out the community.
It's just tragic what happened here, but we're gonna get through this. We're gonna rebuild, and we're gonna be here for West Reading and make sure they have everything they need.
Borough leaders say 1 building of the factory is destroyed. A church and apartment building next to the explosion are also damaged. Multiple people without a home tonight. And right across the street, more businesses are dealing with the aftermath.
There was just flames shooting into the air, tons and tons of black smoke, glass, ceiling tiles, light fixtures, fallen, product destroyed. The side of the building that faces the blast zone had extensive damage.
Other businesses felt the boom from blocks away, causing their power to go out.
At first we heard like a rumble and the windows kind of like pulsed almost. And I was like, is that an earthquake? But no, we realized that we saw people running on the street. And we were like, that has to be something impactful.
As of now, the cause of the explosion is still under investigation. In West Reading, I'm Hallie Jacobs.
Well, France is banning the recreational use of TikTok on government devices, joining the list of other countries in recognizing TikTok's security concerns. TikTok is also under scrutiny in the United States. The CEO appearing on Capitol Hill to address security just this week. Here in Maryland, TikTok is banned on devices in the executive branch.
Meanwhile, this week, Utah passed a new law that makes kids get parental permission before they can join social media apps. Now, the Utah Social Media Regulation Act would require all platforms to conduct age verifications for residents in Utah. The bill also imposes a curfew for anyone under 18 on sites from 10:30 at night until 6:30 in the morning, and parents will have access to their kids' accounts. This bill is set to go into effect March of 2024.
And Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer is signing a bill overturning the state's right to work law. It's the first time a state has repealed that law in more than half century. Republicans against the measure argue that businesses in the state will hurt, while Democrats say unions will grow stronger.
Coming up at 10:30, contaminated water from the Ohio train derailment making its way right here to Maryland. Why local leaders aren't so sure that's a good idea.
And a Baltimore Shark Tank looks into the city housing crisis, how entrepreneurs are trying to solve a complicated issue.
And after a rainy day, we're now dealing with fog across the state. I'll let you know when the fog lifts and what to expect as the weekend ends, coming up in my full forecast.
This is, regardless of the issues at play, I think we all can say we have some pause about accepting contaminated water from the derailment.
Our top story at 10:30 now. Toxic water from the Ohio train derailment this month could be coming to Maryland for treatment.
But Baltimore County and Baltimore City leaders have their concerns as the Back River wastewater treatment plant already has its own issues.
Fox 45's Keith Daniels takes us through the plan and some of the serious concerns.
Baltimore City Mayor Brandon Scott and Baltimore County Executive Johnny Olszewski say they both just learned about this plan. They got a letter from the contractor who's proposing to process this water.
I have a lot of questions. We have since followed up with the governor's office.
The contractor is Clean Harbors Environmental and Industrial Services, selected by the Environmental Protection Agency and the Maryland Department of the Environment to treat and discharge the wastewater at the city's Department of Public Works Back River Wastewater Treatment Plant in Dundalk. The city and county share that wastewater system.
Getting answers from the railroad company.
Tensions high Wednesday night.
Neighbors are telling us they want answers and they want help. It's going up now.
This comes a month after a fiery train derailment on the Ohio-Pennsylvania border. The contaminated wastewater from that derailment to be treated now here in the Baltimore area. The Baltimore County Executive says he and the mayor have questions and concerns, including how the wastewater will get to Maryland and for the overall operation.
We want to make sure, really, this is about what's going into the system. There's a chance to make sure that before we introduce any of this water into our system, that we are clear about what is happening, having questions answered, ensuring appropriate testing is in place.
The Back River plant has recently faced troubles. Just last year, the plant was taken over by the state after objects that looked like feces were found floating in the water near the plant. A report from workers at the Maryland Environmental Service revealed that there were failures at, quote, nearly every level of the city-owned plant. Problems including murky discharge from hydrants and broken electrical boxes. Still, leaders from the city and county believe Back River can handle this latest load, despite past issues.
To be clear, we're talking about two different issues, though. The issues that were raised in letters and other actions were around the treatment of the sewage that was going through our wastewater treatment system. This is, regardless of the issues at play, I think we all can say we have some pause about accepting contaminated water from the derailment.
Mayor Brandon Scott releasing an updated statement this morning surrounding that plan. He says both Baltimore City and County have been in contact with the governor's office, which is confident Back River can handle the surge. Now, the mayor also says his office is seeking legal opinion on whether the city is required to discharge waste from the derailment.
And Keith mentioned some of the issues at the Back River plant. The building itself still under repair after a gas fire led to an explosion just 10 days ago. DPW officials say no waste disposal operations were impacted then. DPW is also reporting progress in its plan to cut back on forever chemicals, or PFAS, in the city's water supply. Levels are now below an EPA threshold for concern at all 3 water treatment plants in Baltimore. You can see our reporting on these chemicals and prior issues at Back River on foxbaltimore.com.
Former President Trump setting his sights on the White House yet again. He's hitting the campaign trail for the first time with a rally tonight in Waco, Texas. And some familiar faces of the Republican Party turned out to support Trump. They included Congressman Matt Gaetz of Florida and Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene of Georgia.
And 2024 is the final battle. That's going to be the big one. If you put me back in the White House, their reign will be over, and America will be a free nation once again.
As the former president hits the campaign trail, concerns remain about a potential indictment and arrest. A New York grand jury is still weighing evidence before a vote on possible charges against Trump in relation to the Stormy Daniels hush money case. Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg is investigating whether Trump falsified business records. Trump maintains that he's guilty of no crime. Deliberation is expected to resume on Monday. Well, as we mentioned earlier, a state of emergency in Mississippi tonight after some powerful storms and a deadly tornado rolled through the area last night. At least 26 people are dead and thousands are still without power.
Yeah, and those who survived trying to stay out of the storm by any means necessary. One business owner says she and her family hid in the freezer.
All of a sudden, the lights started flickering, and I don't know if it was me or somebody who said cooler, and my husband started just pushing us all in the cooler, and this little spot saved our life. We don't know who's alive and who's gone, and just trying to hold it together.
Tornado damage in Texas as well. At least 5 people hurt as the storm destroyed an entire mobile home community.
I screamed, "Get the kids!" And my wife went to go get out of bed, and I went to run down the hallway, but before I could get 3 feet, the whole house jerked to the side. I balled up, and I started hitting just everywhere like a ping pong ball.
The National Weather Service came by to conduct a survey of the damage. They say wind speeds peaked at 100 miles per hour.
And devastating scenes across the Deep South. We've seen some dangerous weather patterns all over the country these past few weeks. Jasmine.
Yeah, it's been active from California, and the snow and the rain, even snow up north. And then for us, nothing severe, fortunately, but we are talking about rain, and that's from that same system that led to the severe weather across parts of the Deep South. For us, that's a cold front, and we're still seeing a couple of stray showers, mainly around Chestertown and over the bay. We've got some areas of heavy rain. Actually, it's pretty isolated, and it is going to clear out over the next few hours. As that cold front does pass, it's working its way toward the East Coast, and once it does pass, we are talking nice and quiet and dry weather to end the weekend, but then our rain chances pick back up on Monday. And even though we're not seeing any rain here in the Baltimore area, we do have some dense fog. You can not see anything in the background over Baltimore. Our temperatures sit at 51. Winds are calm, but notice that visibility, that is at 0. And we are seeing very low visibility around the Baltimore area and along parts of the eastern shore. Other spots, not as bad. That's the good news. We expect the fog to lift over the next few hours, and as that cold front passes, things start to quiet down. Across the state, our temperatures are still in the 50s, and it's been an above average day, but still we had that rain throughout much of the day. Clouds will clear overnight, and we'll wake up to plenty of sunshine in the morning. We start with temperatures in the 30s and 40s. Then by the afternoon, those numbers reach the 60s. This will be the nicest day of the weekend and great for spending some time outside. You'll want to do that. By Monday, more clouds arrive. Not too bad as we start the morning, but by the afternoon, we have that chance for showers continuing off and on. This could have impacts on your evening commute. The rain continues overnight and then into Tuesday. That's going to be another chance for a few spotty showers. Wednesday and Thursday stay dry, but our rain chances pick back up over the weekend. So it looks like we have another Friday and Saturday with rain in the forecast. Temperatures drop to 47 overnight. Temperatures stay pretty mild, and that fog does start to clear a little later on. 67 for the high temperature tomorrow. We'll have plenty of sunshine, but it could be a little breezy at times. Wind gusts could exceed 25 miles per hour. As we head into the work week, we start at 59 on Monday. We have the chance for scattered showers, followed by a few spotty showers on Tuesday. Temperatures will be in the mid-50s. Then we're talking the upper 50s on Wednesday and again on Thursday, keeping us above average and dry for the middle of the week. As we finish out the week, our rain chances pick up, but so do our temperatures. 65 on Friday with a chance for more showers. And then we've got another round of rain on Saturday. Temperatures will reach the low 70s. Back to you.
Well, many people are fighting to improve housing in Baltimore City, but it's going to take innovative ideas to change the landscape.
In this week's Maryland Moment, photojournalist Drew Fox and I introduce you to 2 women pitching their ideas at a local Shark Tank.
Housing in Baltimore has always been complicated.
There is so much
housing issues here in Baltimore.
From historic redlining
We'd love to see new lines drawn.
to a crisis of abandoned homes,
Areas like West Baltimore are still being impacted, 16,000 vacant lots.
it's a generational problem that's yet to be solved. Luckily, there are plenty pushing for change.
There are so many people in Baltimore with great ideas, and they just need a platform to be heard.
That platform right here at Loyola University.
A real estate love fest for building community.
The Shark Tank of sorts was organized by women in real estate for women of color to pitch their unique ideas.
My name is Ruth Travis.
My name is Reverend Chandra Caples-Webb.
Ruth and Chandra are hoping to catch the attention of the sharks in the room.
Ruth Pink House will be a place where breast cancer survivors can come for rest and relaxation.
Ruth Travis is pitching a recovery house where women can come before, during, and after breast cancer treatment.
Can you just go into a little bit more detail for me about the house itself?
The Pink House, we will have nutritional sessions. I will let them celebrate their years of survival or their birthday there.
Ruth believes your environment has everything to do with how you heal.
I want a kitchen. I want a movie theater, life lessons that we talk about.
7 minutes is up, Miss Ruth. Thank you very much. Good job.
Reverend Chandra Caples-Webb was up next.
And I started giving food away out of the trunk of my car every time I got a load of food.
Her idea aimed at helping feed and clothe those in Baltimore, some without a place to call home.
What I need from you, I need a truck. My little car, which I call the DM, the donation mobile, is constantly full, and I'm running things between Baltimore City and Baltimore County.
The Sharks, all leaders in their field, were impressed with both plans.
So we want to thank both of you for pitching.
But ultimately, there could only be one winner.
So, it's the Pink House with the pink outfit and the pink nails and the pink shoes, and it's Ruth.
Ruth's Pink House, now one step closer to becoming reality.
Now I feel like the vision is kind of coming into fruition, and I'm just excited.
Ruth will now have assistance with her business plan and financial advisement moving forward.
Tonight I can go home with a little more hope that this can become a reality.
She knows her idea has the potential to change the landscape of Baltimore for many women navigating a difficult time.
Because so many people need help and they don't know where to go to find it.
And the room recognized that too.
All right, good stuff, Maxine. All right, let's celebrate like it's 1634. You heard me right. A look inside the Maryland Day festivities this afternoon at Power Plant Live in Baltimore.